Okay, I guess I'll try to give this a shot. I don't know how all you guys ever did this because my lighting sucks and I'm not sure how long I can tape for or whatever. And I want to shout out thanks to the people who I've learned the most from, which I would have to say is Tamara Laporte, who's willowing.ning.com, and also Jane Davenport. I took one or two of her classes, and Adi Almanza, I think I'm saying that right. These people are the ones I've learned the most from, but mostly it takes a lot of practice, just to practice and keep practicing and keep drawing and make journals that don't mean anything, but you don't, so you're not afraid to draw on them, like just make it yourself. Don't get anything fancy. Make it cheap paper. If you think you want to paint on it later, make it this is just regular cardstock, 110 pound. And if you go to Sam's Club or a Costco or something, it's only $7 for 250 sheets. But I use it's called a, whatever that is. It's an automatic pencil. Like it's the automatic pencil, but it automatically, you don't have to like pop it to make the light come down. It just automatically keeps feeding itself. And there's extra lead on the inside, so that's really awesome. I also always have a white eraser like this, and I always end up going through the top before anything else because I erase from the top. It's really sharp and pointy at first. But if that's not sufficient, I also have another kind of eraser that I use. It's by it's a Faber-Castell, and it's called Perfection. There's a number one. I think it's 1056 or 7056. I'm not sure. But it's an eraser in the shape of a pencil, and you can sharpen it just like you can a pencil. And it allows you to get into the really detailed spots. And then I always go over everything with either a Sharpie or a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. And this one has the dual points, the tiny point and also the thick point. So that's what I go over my pictures with if I want to make sure it stays forever. I guess what I'm going to start out with is Tamara teaches this, and so do a lot of other YouTube artists that show you on YouTube. It's pretty simple. If you're going to do eyes, is to make, I hope this is showing up right, is to make 3 ovals about the same size and about the same, so you got like 3 circles like that, or ovals, and then you erase the middle one, so that gives you the proportion or the spacing that you need between the 2 eyes, right? And then you can go into the detail. I always make a slant. Well, I try. I don't always, because you can't ever make the same thing twice. But you make a slant and then make the eye, and then here is that divot in the eye, and then the underneath of the eye. And since you made the ovals, they're pretty much the same. And if you do the same thing on the other side, you get close to the same eye, even though it's not exactly the same. I'll see, this one's skinnier than that one, so what I want to do is bring it down more. And then, like I said, you can take your pencil and erase all the parts that you think you don't need. I try not to erase too much. I mean, you just try to draw really light at first, Sometimes that doesn't happen though. And there you have two. It doesn't have to be perfect. When you start, I heard this one guy say that if you can draw one pair of eyes in 5 minutes, then how long will it take you to draw 60 pairs of eyes? Well, it's just going to take you a long time. But if you can draw one pair of eyes in a minute, then you can draw 60 pairs of eyes in 60 minutes. And then you're practicing a lot more than if you just try to be perfect. And you're actually learning things. So then from here, there's always the eyeball itself. I put lines like on the inner parts like that. And then the circles. Now, there's two different ways I make the iris and the pupil. And sometimes I just do it freehand, which you can see I'm pretty, it's not exact. Those eyes aren't exact. One eye is bigger than the other one, or no, but even your eyes aren't the same. The other way is that I use a stencil that I found in Office Max, and it's got circles on it. It's called the Artist Loft. It's from the Artist Loft. And it has all these different size circles, so you could actually make your pupils first and then make your eyes. So if you knew how big you wanted your face to be, you could draw draw your pupils first, and then your eyes are going to be about the same. You can also use this to make the head. If you wanted a small head, you could draw the biggest circle, draw around that, and then that's how your face would start. Okay, but I don't always use that. I'm just doodling, and that's how I draw most of my stuff, is just doodling. So from here, I would draw as close to a circle as I can, not quite touching the bottom, or I try not to. And then try to make it look similar. That looks pretty close to being the same. And then when you do that part, I've heard some people say to put the pupil partway in this part, and some people say to bring it all the way down. The further down you bring it, the more wide awake your character or whatever you're drawing, it makes it more look wide awake or surprised if it's right in the middle. So if I was to draw a circle right in the middle, you got surprised, you know? And I can leave that there, because what I do is I take and put a little bit, unless I'm going for real sad, a little bit of that is going to be in the top of that. So there you go, kind of like that. You want to leave enough of the iris showing that you can put your lines in. But there's, you kind of want it part way like that. Then when you fill it in, let's fill it in like this. And I'm gonna, usually I like to try to leave the white spots, or sometimes I draw them in. But then when you erase part of it, you got it like that. It's better just to leave the white spot. But you can fill it in with a white pen. And then let's just make it solid, and I'll fill it in with a white pen. And then to draw my iris, the lines, gosh, that glare is kind of glaring on there, isn't it? Anyway, to draw my lines, I draw a straight line down the middle, and then I try to draw like off to the side, straight to the side, and then in the corner, and in the corner, and then you can just fill in from there. And you can even go from, you can go from this side to the middle, or from the middle out. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're more comfortable with. And then there's your eyes, you know. And I don't know why, but I always start with my eyes first. And I don't know why. It just, maybe it captures the spirit of my person before I start. And then it's easy to do. I used to really have a hard time with the head, the proportion of the head, but it's really easy now for me, and I'll show you as soon as I can. But this is already 10 minutes. So there's the eyes. Christy Sobolowski, I think I'm saying that right. She made me laugh because she says she never does she never does eyes without eyelashes anymore, and she's right. Add a line up here for your eyelid. You know, it doesn't have to be very wide at all. You know, very little, but your eyelashes they can't be sticks. That does not look like an eyelash. They can't be sticks. If you want decent looking eyelashes, then you need to make like it's gonna go off to the side, and you need different lengths. Your eyelashes are not the same lengths. And the more you get to the edge, the further to the side you have to go. You can't, you know, because your eyes are, you know, dimensional. They're not. But there you go. Curly, some are straighter, but they always go in that direction. Same with this side. I will go, let me make sure I'm in the camera. You gotta go like this. Shorter ones off to the side, off to the side. The more up you get, you kind of gotta go with the eye. You know, you can't go straight. And you don't want to make them too long, because that just looks silly unless you're trying for silly. Mine aren't whimsical, but see, that one is a little bit too long, and I don't like that. Just erase it. And there you go. There's the eyes. I'll stop this here and do a different video.